What's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we're doing another ranking video. That's right, we're taking a look at all the Die Hard films up to this point and deciding once and for all which one is the best of the best. But before I do, I would like to see how you rank these films in the comments down below. Which one's your favorite? Let me know, and let's get cracking. In 5th place, also known as last place, at 53%, is A Good Day to Die Hard. This final film in the franchise is probably the film that took the biggest step away from what Die Hard means. Throughout the series, it went from one small contained place to an entire city to an entire country here. I guess the idea was to make things bigger and bigger and bigger, but in actuality, it made McClane feel smaller and smaller and smaller. And he lost a huge chunk of his personality in this film. Most of the time, he didn't actually do anything at all. Most of the time, he was just standing in the corner, letting his son do all the work, holding a gun. And his son isn't that interesting. He's no John McClane, but apparently, either was Bruce Willis. In 4th place at 61% is Live Free or Die Hard. For me, Die Hard 4 and 5 are very similar in the fact that neither really feel like Die Hard films, and both are honestly kind of just random action films with Bruce Willis. Probably because Bruce Willis is much older at this point, he's bald, and he just has some trouble bouncing back into that same personality, but there's a fraction of it left in this film, unlike A Good Day to Die Hard, in which I no longer sensed it. I do see it here because he's more involved, he's more stir-crazy about what's going on, and which in turn makes him funny, but it's far from a perfect film. In 3rd place at 82% is Die Hard 2. This film's fun to me because one of its filming locations was my hometown's airport runway, and my hometown is small, nothing ever happens here, so that's a fun notoriety point. But Die Hard 2 has the same problem as Home Alone 2. It's the same movie as the first. Doesn't make it bad, it's still fun enough, it still has a lot of heart-pounding elements, but it lacks in originality, and the villain isn't as good as Hans Gruber, so if you were forced to watch either the first or second film, you would undoubtedly just pick the first film. In 2nd place at 87% is Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance. I've always had a warm place in my heart for this film. For me, this is my Die Hard film. I love the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, which is oftentimes hilarious because they bicker like children. I love Simon and his Simon Says game. I love the inclusion of New York, which just seems to be one giant diabolical maze set up by the villain. Everything works out really, really well, but it's not exactly a Die Hard film as much as it is an original John McClane adventure. Up to this point, you knew Die Hard as the film about one man against all odds in a confined space, and at least 3 other people reprised their roles. But this was an all-new cast other than McClane. It wasn't one man against all odds anymore, it was at least 2, and it was no longer a confined space. But hey, I still love it. In 1st place at 89% is Die Hard. Of course this film beats the others, did you ever have any doubt? This has been, and always will be, a classic, iconic film that people will piggyback off of forever. It feels perfect, even though it has some technical areas that could use improvement here and there. It's barely a complaint though, because this is the type of film that wants to entertain you above all else, and it certainly does. My bias score, for example, for this film was 94%, which mirrors how I feel about the film. Even when I think about Die Hard 3 as my Die Hard film, and the one that I grew up with the most, the first Die Hard film is still the first film that I immediately think of when you say Die Hard, or when you say John McClane, or whatever, because this is the type of film that you can't forget. Just look at A Good Day to Die Hard, which came out 7 years ago. I forgot almost everything that happened in that movie. Die Hard, you can watch that once and it will remain with you for the rest of your life. That means something. Anyways, that's all I got. When we average all these scores together, my franchise score for Die Hard is 74%, which isn't terrible. Not the highest scoring franchise I have, but far from the worst too. Don't forget to tell me your thoughts on the series in the comments down below and how you rank everything. As for YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button if you like this ranking video and would like to see some others like it. Hit the thumbs up button because that always helps out my channel. And don't forget about the little bell icon because that'll help notify you when I come out with the next ranking video. And until then, peace out!